Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Friday, January 2nd, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 11,000 stories and 11 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. White gays can do better for trans folk and queer people of color. An interview with Professor Kaila Adia Story about her book, The Rainbow Ain't Never Been Enough, challenges the pervasive myth of a unified, cohesive LGBTQ+ community. Dr. Story argues that queer spaces are often as racist and transphobic as any other, recalling an instance where she was targeted with a racial slur in a gay bar. Professor Story explains that the myth of solidarity was fostered by mainstream media, particularly during the marriage equality campaign, which predominantly centered cisgender white, often biracial couples, while erasing Black and trans queer stories. This narrative allows cisgender white LGBTQ+ people to feel absolved of the responsibility to authentically advocate for trans people and queer people of color. Professor Story points out that the hypocrisy of cis gay individuals not showing up for trans causes with the same fervor they did for issues like gay equality, marriage equality, or protecting drag. She stresses that all issues from reproductive justice to war are LGBTQIA issues, as queer people exist in every community. She urges cis white gay people to move beyond being allies to becoming accomplices, meaning they must use their privilege to confront bigotry within their own families and communities. The work is psychologically and emotionally burdensome, but essential for the survival and liberation of all members of the community, especially trans and non-binary siblings. There's a saying, I don't remember who initiated it, but it gets around, and it's true, that that allyship, first of all, you're probably not as much of an ally as you think you are. And here's how you can tell. When they're throwing rocks, if you're not getting hit, you're not standing close enough. So allies share the experience.
Yeah.
And so otherwise you're a cheerleader, and we need those. You're someone who's not making the problem worse. Appreciate that. But true allyship is solidarity. And that means shoulder to shoulder. That means someone might mistake you for them, and you get called the ugly words and whatnot. So not that we want anyone to be insulted or have their feelings hurt. I'm just saying that if you have the privilege of avoiding that and you slip into that privilege every once in a while, that's not solidarity. So yeah, we need accomplices, people who are in it with us, even though they don't have to be, but they just choose to be because they love someone, or they love several people in the community, or they're just good people. They just don't want anyone to be mistreated or denied justice or accessibility or equality. And she is unfortunately right, Dr. Story, that just because we have faced, whoever we are, that we have faced some unfairness does not mean we are necessarily tuned in to other people's problems or pain or injustice. I would assume, now I was disabused of this decades ago, but I would assume that anyone who had survived gay torment, being harassed and bullied for being gay, that once they came out and faced that and became that they would be the first ones to be fighting against racism and misogyny and standing up for immigrants, and not always. Yeah. Not always. And so she said, yeah, that gay, cis, white spaces are not necessarily trans-friendly, are not necessarily non-racist. And even if you're mostly non-racist, that's still not the same as being anti-racist. And so we just have a lot of work to do. and I realized, you know, I had to fight so hard for my thing. Why do I have to fight for someone else? Because people fought with you for you. So let's pay it forward. And also because we want to be good people. We care that other people are not being treated fairly. And we know what that's like. So yes, it's just golden rule time. Treat people the way you'd like to be treated. And when they're not, do for them what you wish someone would have done for you when you were being not treated properly. It really is just that simple. I lead a queer church and have done. This one for 20 years. And before that, others for another 15. I have been in the queer community spirituality business most of my adult life. And to this day, in progressive queer spaces, there are still people who they don't like this word or that word within the LGBTQ, so many letters acronym. But not that letter, not that letter, not that letter. No, it's one big thing. It's a community. You don't get to exclude some because you think that they're beneath you or because they think that they're going to hurt some of the privilege or some of your being able to pass or whatever. No, there's a word for that. It's called wrong. There's another word for that. It's called ugly. Yeah. And so yeah. Oh, I'm all for the L and the G and maybe the B. Nope. Then what that makes you is a problem. It is the L and the B and the G and the T and the Q and the Q and the I and the A and the A and the P. I don't know why pansexual's not up in there. It needs to be. And so no, any lives that have been queered, that have been treated as if they should be othered, we've got to be together. There's not enough of any one of those groups to make it on our own. So we need those allies. That's one of the A's. But we all need one another. And so I've had people, again, in these queer spaces, not just not on board for trans people, but antagonistic. Yeah. And what happens is they sometimes don't stick around because we won't hear that without challenge. Trans people are made in the image and likeness of God. Trans people are a gift to the world. And if they hear it nowhere else, they're going to hear it at the queer church. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good, because we are here to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. So she's right. She's calling us to account. All of us, even those of us who are working hard at it, can do better. And so let's not be offended when people tell us that. Let's know that they're telling us the truth and get even better. And then from our betterness, we can tell people, you need to get better. Because there's just too much ugliness, too much hatred, too much targeting for us to leave anybody out. We've got to lock arms and face all the ugly and stupid in the world. There's too much of it for us to turn on each other.
Right. There's an awful lot of if it doesn't affect me, then I'm not going to be bothered by it. And what I've learned over the years, and I've come a long way and I got a long way to go, is that I need to do my own education. I need to put myself out there and talk to people and learn their experiences. And really, again, it's putting yourself out there, making yourself aware. One thing I've also learned is calling yourself an ally. You don't really get to call yourself an ally. Other people can call you an ally, but you don't get to do that for yourself.
Yeah. So, I like that.
Yeah,
I
true.
like that a lot.
Yeah, if they see you're doing it and thank you for it, okay, it's
okay,
done.
then
It's
good.
done.
But yeah, I don't get to say, oh, I'm an ally. No.
Yeah, I agree with all of this, and certainly with her. I mean, if you're going to have skin in the game, you got to get in the game. Yeah. You can't pick and choose which part of the game you want to be in. I mean, you can, but when it comes down to the game time, when the quarterback snaps that football, we're all in the game, and we're all a part of how our community is affected. We can all contribute something positive to our community, and it's 2025. Get over it. We have a political government that attacked the trans community, and it didn't just stop there. It went from multiple levels down. And if you think that I don't use queer community because I include queer everybody. It's my inclusive words, all the letters. I don't have to do the whole letter by letter. I use queer. I own queer. It's part of my identity. And when I think about the queer community as a whole, we're all a part of this. Yeah. You get to identify how you want to under that queer umbrella, and we want to respect that, but don't demonize someone else for who they are in this community. We're all in this together, and it is sad when I hear people say, "Well, I can't be a part of this because there's too much talk about the trans community here," or "I can't be a part of this because there's too many women being talked about."
Too many women issues.
Yeah, too many women issues. I can't be a part of this here because just because. Get over yourselves and get over the becauses, because we don't have time to parcel our feelings out like that, because right now we are more than the marginalized community we have ever been before in my lifetime. And in order to help shrink that marginalization, we got to work together. We got to work together. Look back at the civil rights movement and how that worked. Not everybody got along, but they all agreed on one thing: they wanted the Civil Rights Act passed. We may not all get along in the queer community. God knows we don't, but we all to want one thing: to do better by each other and to do better for ourselves.
100%. And you just don't know who you're hurting. Kids today are so smart, and they know that their body and their self doesn't match. And so they're coming out as trans or non-binary early, and people know they're gay early, and they're just out about it, and they find places to be supported. Oh, if only, right? When I was a kid. And so, but not everyone's like that. And I've known throughout my life, a lot of people on their way to saying I'm lesbian started out by saying I'm bi. And meant it. They're working it out. Or a lot of people who are trans started out performing in drag. And then they started living that way, and then they started identifying that way, and so on. So you may be saying, well, I'm saying, oh, these people, I may be one of those people you're talking about. I just haven't been able to say it yet, or own it completely yet. And you may either be making me doubt our friendship, or doubt myself, or doubt that being with you is a safe place to be. Don't assume when you're talking about, just because someone presents the way you expect them to, that does not mean they're not non-binary, doesn't mean they're not trans, doesn't mean they're not queer. It doesn't mean anything other than you need to stop that, because people all should be treated with dignity. And you don't have to understand them for that to be the case.
Just a real quick point. What we're talking about are lessons in civilization. We have never been a homogeneous anything. Every single part of our world is different within that part, that piece of the world. So in order for us to really make sense of everything, we have to say that I may not fully understand you, but I love you and I affirm you as you are. And that sometimes is the most difficult thing for people to do, even within our community here at Sunshine Cathedral. We hear the conversations about, oh, why are you doing that again? What's going on with this church? What's going on with this church is just as love. And we're never going to move away from that, no matter how it makes you feel, because maybe we're challenging you to crack that egg that's holding you back a little bit. I don't know if that's a right analogy, but you know what I mean.
And it's not like we don't want people who have, they've not been awakened yet. They haven't been enlightened yet. We don't want them to go anywhere. We want them to wake up. And this is a safe place to ask the questions and figure it out. But you just can't be mean to anyone else on their journey. And if they wind up being something you don't understand, that's a you thing. And what a great place to learn about that and learn to do better. But making it be an us or them thing, you're not going to like the way that ends up. Because we are always, in the name of Jesus, going to take the side of the most marginalized, the most downtrodden, the most misunderstood, the most excluded. And so if you're wanting to do the excluding, you're not going to like our position. Because we're going to try. My favorite image of the afterlife is a cartoon. I don't even remember who wrote it, but it's heaven, and St. Peter is telling people they can't get into heaven. They're not in the book. They didn't do the right things. And around this side, Jesus is pulling people over the wall into heaven. He's helping them sneak in. And so, if all the rest of the churches have told you this, or even if they seem like, we'll make room for you. I used to preach at this Unitarian church in Texas hundreds of years ago. And they were Unitarian Universalists. How liberal can you get, right? And they were open and affirming to gay people until the church became about a fifth gay. And then that 20% started running for the board. there was pastoral care time. And they got through it, and they did right in the end. But it was unsettling. So yeah, you can talk the talk, but once it starts, what if, and here's the question, well, what if we become half or more gay? What if?
Yeah.
What if that didn't bother you? What if you're such a wonderful place that they would want to be there? And they told all their friends, and wouldn't that be great? So we all have those things, though.
Yeah.
We, whether it's about Muslims or people who do certain things, or maybe sex workers, or, whatever. But here's a place to confront that, not to reinforce it, to confront it so that you can see the sacred value of all people. And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I want to invite you to check out our performing arts series in January 2026.
Award-winning and Billboard charting artist Flamey Grant is a shame-slaying, hip-swaying, singing, songwriting drag queen from Western North Carolina. She's here January the 9th, and tickets can be secured at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
Also in January, we will enjoy the antics of actor, singer, comic, drag artist Varla Jean on January 24th.
Then on January 30th, Miss Richfield 1981 will bring her offbeat brand of hilarity to South Florida.
And finally, on January 31st, the beautiful voice and charming style of Ann Steele is back. Lesbians love her, gay men adore her, and all music lovers recognize her as an engaging musical performer. Information about these performances and other performers as well can be found at tickets for their shows can be found at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
And remember the Cathedral Pub. The Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts offers the Cathedral Pub experience. The Cathedral Pub offers performance attendees an inviting space to gather and connect with friends prior to the show, or a place to be while waiting for the doors to open. Guests enjoy live music, beverages, and appetizers in a comfortable meet and greet environment while they await the start of the performance. On show nights, the Cathedral Pub opens an hour before each performance and closes 15 minutes before it starts. Entry to the Cathedral Pub, hear this, entry to the Cathedral Pub requires a separate purchase from your seat ticket. If you get the pub ticket, that is not a show ticket. If you get a show ticket, that is not the pub ticket. You have to get the pub ticket in addition to your show ticket. And you can do so no matter what seat you have. Like, there's no preference. You can just do the pub add-on, but the show ticket and the pub ticket are two different things. But you can get your seat ticket and your pub ticket when you purchase your seat ticket on the link found on the seat section page. Be sure to purchase before checking out. There is a limited number of people who can get pub access, so don't delay.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.